Friends, remedial teaching, when we talk about, it is something uh, going beyond teaching. Okay, beyond teaching means giving further teaching or motivation or guidance or counseling. So many things are included in remedial teaching. In language one syllabus or language two syllabus, the points are the same in CTET exam. But here, uh, as I went through the points in the morning from the syllabus, I found out that many things are already there in B.Ed syllabus. So that's why I selected this topic, which is, I think it is not in B.Ed syllabus, remedial teaching. Some of the important facts are there that I'm going to share with you today. So let's begin. I was thinking this must be the last session of CTET class this year, but as per your request, we will arrange a session on Gujarati subject tomorrow. I think Maunas sir will take the session. So let's start today's session on remedial teaching. First of all, there is one or two definitions given in the slide. You can see it. Can you able to see the slide, friends? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So following these slides, we are having 5 questions, sample questions, remedial teaching. Here we are going to learn remedial teaching in general sense. Okay, not in English language teaching sense, but in general sense. English language teaching will automatically come because we are teacher of English. So that's why. So first of all, let's learn about what it is. So remedial teaching is the teaching or instructional work carried out to provide remedial measures to help the pupils to get rid of their common or specific weaknesses. So when we talk about remedial teaching, it is because of the weaknesses on students side, on pupils side. Okay, and it will be there, it will be there always in your class. When you will be a teacher in a school, you will find certain weaknesses in students, in their learning style, in their uh, uh, grasping the different things from different subjects. Okay, maybe they are weak in particular subject, or maybe they are weak in writing, maybe they are weak in preparing certain things. So many weaknesses will be there. So for that purpose, remedial teaching is implemented by the teacher, or it is, we can say, an instructional work. It is carried out by the teacher according to the diagnostic test taken by the teacher. Okay, so then second point is there, pupils usually may have one or more than one of the following learning difficulties. So here some learning difficulties I have enlisted, which are uh, in students. Okay, so first of all, poor memory. The biggest problem is there, poor memory. Many students are having poor memory problem. They can't remember all the things properly. Okay, whatever is said by the teacher, whatever is instructed by the teacher, some students are not able to memorize some of the important things, because all the things are not based on comprehension. Some of the things will be there for knowledge or for information that we have to memorize, we have to remember. Okay, so such things they are not able to remember. So poor memory is one problem. Then second one is short attention span, and are easily distracted by other things. So here the second biggest problem is short attention. They are not concentrating properly in the class, in your teaching. Okay, in your discussion in the classroom. Sometimes they are distracted by other things going on outside the classroom. If they are set near the window, they are watching outside the classroom, they are watching the activities of other people outside the school, or they are watching the activities in the classroom, okay, done by the students. But they are just watching different things in the classroom, watching on the fan, watching at the corner, light, so many things. If there is a lizard in the classroom, they will watch the lizard during the interaction process. Okay, so many things will happen there. So that is distraction, and such disturbances will be there, which will affect their learning. Then the next one is relatively poor comprehensive power, lack of learning motivation. So two important things are mentioned here. First of all, comprehensive power is very low, very poor. So they cannot understand properly or easily, or we have to put some more hard work there to make them understand particular thing. So comprehension is very poor on their side. For example, you have 10 students in your classroom, and two students are very clever who can understand the things at the very first attempt. Okay, and other 8 students are very low in comprehension. So what will happen? They have to try again to understand that particular thing properly. Second time or third time or more than 3 or 4 times they have to attempt it, then only they will comprehend the particular thing. And at this time, motivation is key factor that should be provided by the teacher. Learning motivation. Okay, and motivation is not coming from outside. It is coming from inside, from the mind of the students. Okay, a teacher has to try for this. We cannot go outside the market and buy motivation from any shop. Teacher is responsible here to provide learning motivation, not teaching motivation, learning motivation. Teacher just give him a kind of instruction, a kind of participation teacher will do there. Okay, and facilitate the students. For example, you can do it. Yes, it is very easy for you. You can do it. Just try this, try in that way. Okay, let me sit with you, I will help you. Okay, or you sit with that fellow, and you both try for this particular thing or question or problem. So such motivation must be provided. Then lack of self-confidence and relatively low self-expectation. That is the same thing. Sometimes confidence level is very low. So at this time we have to provide motivation. Then weak in problem solving power. Some students are very low in problem solving. Okay, any problem is given by the teacher, particularly in maths and science, problems are there. Sums are given by teacher, and some sums are very easy for all the students, but particular points are there, particular topics are there in mathematics which are very difficult to understand and which are very difficult to solve. Clever students will definitely do it, but poor students or medium students will need motivation, will need certain help from outside. Okay, teacher can participate, and teacher can make pairs or group for such problems. In group activity they can solve problems. Then fail to grasp information effectively and mix up things easily. Sometimes students are mixing up things. They have learned so many things in classroom in one session, in one period, but sometimes they are mixing up all the things, all the details, and when you ask a particular question they will give answer of something some other question. Okay, they will give answer of other question. So it will happen there because of less comprehension, less confidence, and attention. Okay, lack of attention is there. That's why they are mixing up things, because they have learnt all the things not properly. Okay, half of the things they have learnt, that's why it happens. Then have difficulty in understanding new abstract concepts. New concepts are there which are very difficult for them to understand. Abstract concepts will that means just theory parts. Okay, theories that must be remembered sometimes. So such concepts are very difficult for them to understand. then need more time to complete assignments or tasks. Sometimes some students are very clever that they complete their assignment in time or before time, but other students are there, weak students are there, who cannot complete assignments in time. Okay, so they will need some more time to complete, to finish that. So these are the simple problems of these students. So here, friends, you can see objectives of remedial teaching. Why we implement, why we initiate, why we have to implement this particular type of teaching. So to provide learning support who are not as good as their peers in performance. That is one objective and the biggest objective, because we have to take them ahead along with the other students who are very clever in the classroom, or up to the mark, up to the category of medium students, we can say. Okay, so 60%, 70% marks we can try for them. So providing learning support who are not as good as their peers in performance, then to initiate learning activities and experiences for pupils according to their abilities and requirement. So another objective is initiating, beginning a learning activities, okay, experiences, learning experiences for pupils as per their needs, their requirements, their abilities, their capacities, their potential, that we have to prepare. That is one objective of remedial teaching. Then the last one is to provide systematic training to develop pupils' generic skills, including interpersonal relationship, communication, problem solving, self-management, self-learning, independent thinking, creativity, and the use of information technology. So this is also very important objective of remedial teaching, providing so many things. Okay. So important things are here is self-management, problem solving capability we have to develop, then self-learning, then independent thinking. That is important because teacher will facilitate first time, second time he will facilitate, third time he will participate also, but fourth time, fifth time, or ahead, the teacher will just observe, and that student, weak student, will try to do it by himself or herself. Okay, so self-learning must be initiated. So such kind of atmosphere we have to provide, and that is one objective of remedial teaching. And it is a teacher's role to look at the classroom, to look all around the classroom, across the classroom, which students are good at learning, which students are not good at learning, or maybe we can say poor students. Okay. In Gujarati, there is Gujarat government once initiated this program, and in Gujarati we say it Upcharatmak Shikshan. Okay, Upcharatmak Shikshan એવું નામ છે ગુજરાતીમાં એનું. And it is already there in primary education. Okay, before some years it was implemented by Gujarat government. So each and every government school has this particular project, Upcharatmak Shikshan, and they call this poor or weak student as પ્રિય બાળક. એ લોકો એવું કહે છે પ્રિય બાળક છે. ઓકે, એ પુઅર છે એવું નથી કહેતા, એવું કહે છે કે આ અમારા ક્લાસનું પ્રિય બાળક છે. મીન્સ કે શું છે આપણે આને કહીએ કે વધારે ગમતું, ફેવરિટ સ્ટુડન્ટ ઇન ઇંગ્લિશ વી કેન સે. સો આવું નામ આપવાનું કારણ શું છે? ઇટ ઇઝ અ કાઇન્ડ ઓફ મોટિવેશન ફોર ધ સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ. આપણે આને એવું કહીએ કે આ નબળા સ્ટુડન્ટ છે, એને અલગ બેસાડ્યા છે, એટલે એ શબ્દો એના કાને તો પડવાના જ છે. ઓકે, they will listen. The teacher is saying me as weak student or poor student. So that is the break of this remedial teaching program. એ સમયે એક આખો છે ને બ્રેક વાગી જાય છે તમારા પ્રોગ્રામને. તમારું જે ઇનિશિયેટિવ છે ને એ ત્યાં જ અટકી જાય છે. when you say that they are poor, they are weak in their learning. Okay, rather than saying that, we can tell them these students are special for me. Okay, they need some more attention from my side, so I have make them sit somewhere else here, or I am providing them extra teaching or extra instructional activities. Okay, so first of all, here approach is very much important. Here we can see in this slide the principles a teacher should follow. Which principles, which are the rules we can say, or important things a teacher should keep in mind. So first of all, remedial teachers should design diversified teaching activities and adopt various teaching methods to help pupils develop their potential and remove the obstacles in learning. It is one statement for teachers. Okay, what should teacher do? So preparing a lot of diversified various kind of teaching activities. He must have, she must have, okay, he or she must have such list of teaching activities, language games. In our language we can make a list of such things, okay, as per our topics given in the textbook, and every teacher should do it. And adopting various teaching methods. Teaching methods will include teaching techniques to be implemented for every topic, for every unit. Okay, so adopting such teaching methods for each and every pupil in order to develop their potential and removing the obstacles in learning. Okay, there must be some obstacle. So you cannot say that you don't have any obstacle in your classroom teaching. There must be some. This year you don't have, next year you will be having. Okay, so such things you must keep ready with you in your copy, that these are my learning, these are my teaching techniques. I will I will use this teaching technique for this particular topic or that particular topic. So such things you have to be ready with. Okay. In the same way, teaching activities and language games you can keep ready with you. So here, teaching preparation. First of all, first important principle is teaching preparation. Can you tell me what is teaching preparation? Can anyone tell me what is teaching preparation? How a teacher can prepare for himself for teaching?
Yes, sir. He should be thorough with the concept that he is going to teach in the class. Then if he has prepared any TLM, then he should prepare it well and use it priorly before the class starts, so that if any problem or any error does not occur, and he should try to be as much as live and what can we say, jolly, and he should include enthusiasm and interaction, and involvement of students should also be there. So he should, all these things should be there in his mind. He should rehearse once,
Yes,
being a
definitely.
teacher in front of a mirror. Yeah, and that is how we can continue.
Yes, so that is preparation as we have done in B.Ed course. Okay, when we go in the classroom of any block teaching or internship, we go in the classroom with preparation. Okay, preparation of what kind? So what you are going to teach, the points you must have. Okay, then based on the points, do you have activities, any learning activities, any learning experience you want to provide there for better learning, effective learning, or you are prepared for that condition in which some students will ask you questions. Sir, I cannot understand this. Sir, what is this? Why is this? So why questions will be there. Okay, reasoning question, reason they will ask, logical questions they will ask. So you have to be ready with such questions sometimes. So that is also teaching preparation. Then instructional material or aids you are going to use there. So first rehearse it, then after try it in your classroom. That is teaching preparation. Then any weak student is there, so what have you done for those weak students? So that is also important. If you have prepared an evaluation test for the students, okay, then you must include simple questions, easy questions for weak students, and you must include difficult questions for the clever students. So balance is there or not in your question paper, your unit test. Okay, so this is a kind of teaching preparation. So this will be done keeping in mind the remedial teaching also, that after doing such hard work, in future you don't have to do more remedial teaching. That you have to keep in mind, that uh, uh, by preparing well, by presenting well with good preparation, in future you will be able to avoid remedial teaching classes also, because everything is understood by the students in your regular classes. So that's why teaching preparation is also important. Then devise various learning activities. Some learning activities you have to devise, you have to create sometimes as per your topic. Okay, so according to topic you can just prepare activities, pair work, group work, or single handedly student can conduct the activity. Such activities you can do there. Then design meaningful learning situations. Learning situations, when it is meaningful, when learning happens, when your objective is fulfilled, your objective of teaching learning is fulfilled, then only that particular situation or activity is meaningful for you. So we have to design activities according to its meaning for the learning situation. Okay, for example, in language classroom, what is our goal? To make them able to speak the language, to write the language, to read the language, and to to listen the language properly. So the skills are important in language classroom. So we will prepare activities according to the skill development. Okay, and that will be the meaningfulness for language classroom. Then teaching approach must include motivation, a kind of facilitation. Okay, on student teacher's side, teacher should not uh, teach in a way that his or her classroom looks like teacher centered or teaching centered. A classroom must be child centered. Okay, rather than teacher centered, rather than topic centered, rather than teaching centered. Okay, so child centered classroom is important. That's why teaching approach should keep in mind this child centered classroom activities or instruction process. Then providing clear instructions, sometimes it is very important. When you provide half instruction or short instruction or unclear instructions, what happens? Clever students will understand it by reference also, but medium students or poor students will need some help from your side, from other students. Have you noticed, if you have noticed in your classroom, that when you instruct something to the students, for example, open page number 40, so those students who have listened it well, they will open it. Okay, immediately they will open it. But some students will ask other student. Okay, they will ask other students, which page number teacher has said, which page number. Okay, so that is because of uh, uh, half instruction or unclear instruction on your side, or you haven't given instruction properly with proper proper voice. Okay, so it happens in big classrooms. So in such classroom, you have to give proper instruction in with proper voice tone. Then some more principles are there. Summarize the main points. Friends, we have so many things to discuss, so I have to be a little fast in discussion. So first of all, summarize the main points. Whenever the main points are there in your discussion, just note down these points, the summary of the points on blackboard or chalkboard. Okay, so it will affect their learning. They will read out the points written on the board and they will understand it properly. So summarizing the main points, that is one principle. Then enhancing learning interest and motivation, that already we discussed. How we enhance? We will consistently give them motivation by instruction, by discussion, by saying them, yes students, it's very easy. Okay, this question is very simple question, you can do it. Okay, it is already written on the chalkboard, you can see it. Okay, so such enhancement of learning interest and motivation we have to provide there. Then encouraging pupils active participation in class. So each and every student should be kept in mind while giving activity, okay, while giving learning activity in the classroom. So encouragement must be provided by the teacher. Last bench student must participate in the learning activity, that we have to look at. Okay, we have to look after actually. Then focus on learning process. Learning process must be focused what they have learned, or what they don't have learned yet. Okay, so that we have to focus on. Then show concern for the performances or individual. Individual student must be given concern, or a kind of facilitating approach by you. Okay, why? When medium students are there or poor students are there, you must ask those students first. Okay, rather than asking to the clever students. So ask first the poor students. Have you done it? Do you have any problem? Did you understand it properly or not? So ask them first. So showing a kind of concern for those students, that is also important. Then adapting the curriculum to accommodate the learning abilities of students. So curriculum we have, and we have to follow that curriculum for each and every subject, but we have to adapt to the curriculum to accommodate the learning abilities of students. What we have to do as a teacher, we have the curriculum, we have the textbook, we have topics and units. So what we will do, we will just create activities, we will just create a kind of supporting material for providing for providing to the students in instructional process, in teaching learning process, after knowing their learning abilities. Okay, first you have to know their learning abilities by observing them, by giving them any diagnostic test, or by giving them any pre-test, we can say. Okay, so such tests will give you an outline which students are good in your classroom, which students are good in particular subject. So according to that result, according to that ability of students, you will be able to adapt the curriculum. Okay, and you will be able to create such activities, and your preparation also. Then last one is design materials as per needs of the students of his class. So designing materials, that we already talked about, friends. Moving ahead, we have some strategies of remedial teaching. First of all, let me discuss in brief only, because we are running out of time, and I will provide you this particular presentation. So first one is individualized educational program, IEP. Its short form is IEP. What will be there in this particular program? So it will fulfill the learning needs of individual pupil. How? So this program aims to reinforce the foundation of learning, help pupils overcome their learning difficulties and develop their potentials. Individualized educational program should include short-term and long-term teaching objectives, learning steps, activities and reviews to ensure that the program is implemented effectively. Then these things will be done by teacher himself. Okay, he has to decide the teaching objectives. He has to decide or determine the learning steps for the students, the activities, and review also will be done by the teacher himself, so that he can know whether the program is going on well or not. So that such kind of program he can create there. Then peer support program. It is much popular program, and much used by teacher in classroom. Teachers may train up pupils who perform better in a certain subject to become later teachers, and who will be responsible for helping schoolmates, okay, their friends, with learning difficulties in group teaching and self-study sessions, as well as outside classroom. Okay, so such program can be initiated there, because clever students and poor student, we have to make a pair of those students without making the poor student feel like that they are poor in their learning. Rather than we can tell it pair work, okay, or group work. In that way we can initiate this program, peer support program. Then it will also include their social or interpersonal relationship. Okay, such program will make a kind of relationship among them. Then reward scheme, this is also important. Reward scheme, motivating pupils. Teachers must implement reward scheme which focuses on guiding pupils to set their own objectives and plans and positively reinforcing their good performance. So here we can provide them a kind of reward after they attempt any kind of exam, and we can also set objectives for them, or plan we can give them. Okay, so and a kind of positive reinforcement it will do there. And to design such reward, teachers must take note of the following things. So here, set clear and specific targets, set achievable objectives, give diversified rewards to accommodate pupils' interest, give rewards instantly, so that that motivation will remain there. Okay, it must be maintained there when you give reward instantly. Then review and revise the reward scheme regularly, so that if you want to improve something in that scheme, you can do it. Then invite parents, guardians to help children improve their work. That is very important, friends. We have to be in touch with parents or guardians, so that we can talk with them. We can talk with them about their problems, about their difficulties, about their family issues. Okay, so that some issues can be solved on your side, from your side. Last one is there, handling pupils' behavior problems. So always observe the performance of pupils in class and their behavior in groups. Then establish close relationship with pupils, develop mutual trust, and listen carefully to what they say. Then you can help pupils understand the effect of their behavior on the other, as well as on their own selves. Understanding their the effect of their own behavior, friends. So in that in by this their own behavior they will notice, and we can also say about it, so that their behavior can be improved by themselves only. Then keep in close contact with parents to find out the cause of pupils' behavior problems that we talked about. Okay, we can know by parents the family issues, by any physical issues there with the child, so that such behavioral problems can be resolved from our side with the help of parents. Okay, so such things, more things are also there. Helping pupils build up self-confidence and a healthy self-image. Then giving positive reinforcement that we talked about. Then do not try to change all the deviant behavior of pupils at once. That is important. Do it gradually. Okay, psychological help is needed there. Do it gradually, because all the things cannot be improved or cannot be changed or developed instantly. We have to be gradual here. Then refer the cases to counselors, teachers for follow-up action if the behavior problems of pupils continue or become serious. So sometimes a teacher or principal has to take initiative and invite a counselor in the school, so that such issues are resolved with the help of such counselor. Many schools are doing this particular activity. Okay, because psychological problems are there. Most of the problems are psychological. Friends, at the end of this session, let's have some questions. First question is there: while designing a working activity for a language class, a teacher should most importantly focus on. So, which one is the right option? Find out first. It is relevant to remedial teaching. That's why I added this particular question.
One, choosing a topic from their surroundings.
Exactly. Choosing a topic from their surroundings, because it is a language class. Okay, and we are going to give them a working activity. So surrounding topic will help you more here, and this one is the most appropriate one. Other things are wrong, other things are not wrong, but the most appropriate we have selected is number one. Okay. Okay, choosing a topic from their surrounding. Then the next one is there, what does motivation do in the process of learning? Find out. Other students, please try. Hiren, Maya. It's very easy question.
સર ઓપ્શન બોલો તો ખબર પડે, અમને સ્લાઇડ નથી દેખાતી, નેટવર્ક
Oh
ઇશ્યુ
my
ના
god,
લીધે.
એવું છે. Okay, let me speak out. First one is there, it differentiates new learning from old learning, it makes learners think unidirectional, it sharpens memory of the learners, it creates interest for learning among young learners. So what does motivation do in the process of learning?
Fourth one, sir.
Last,
Yes, sir. It creates interest for learning among
Yes,
young learners.
exactly.
Fourth one.
Vikas, you are right, and Maitre, you too. So fourth one is right, because it is creating interest for learning among young learners. That's why motivation is important. Next one is there, teacher is appreciating a child for his overall language use. Though some of the words were misspelt by him, the teacher is using blank approach in her class. What can be the right answer, friends?
Constructivist.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, it's correct.
Communicative.
Not communicative, because constructivist, because here we are what we can say, there is one word in English language teaching, error tolerance we can say. Okay, there is one word. What is error tolerance? We are tolerating the errors done by the students in order to make them learn further. Okay, otherwise what will happen if you are saying that this is done wrong by you, then the students will not try again. So here constructivist approach we have to provide there. Okay, structural, communicative, these are language approaches, and whole language there is nothing like that. So constructivist approach is important here. Then the next one is there, the purpose of diagnostic test in language learning is to find out the answer. Options are give feedback to the parents in the PTMs, fill the progress report of students, plan and prepare question paper for summative assessment, and fourth one is know the gaps in learners understanding.
Fourth one, sir. Know the gaps in learners understanding.
Okay, anyone else wants to try? Okay, fourth one is correct, because here in diagnostic test we try to know the gaps in learners understanding, what they did not understand. Okay, what is the problem behind that? So that gap, that problem we know by such test. Okay, so that's all for friends. So this was the presentation on teaching and suggestions I added there. Friends, wherever you feel difficulty, you can just go through such mock tests online. There are so many ample tests are available, because such tests or questions will help you a lot to make to strengthen your understanding of any topic. Okay. And tomorrow we are planning for a session on Gujarati language too. So let's see what we can do for that. Mauno sir will conduct that session. Okay. So for today's session, we are going to end this this time. If you have any question, you can just put your question in the WhatsApp group. Fine. So thank you so much for attending session. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.